Apple Home is great for the basics. You can get a lot done with HomeKit, but if you're watching this video, you may have hit some limitations by now. Maybe you need more powerful automations. Maybe you want to integrate non-HomeKit devices into Apple Home, or create custom dashboards beyond what Apple offers. Or perhaps you keep hearing terms like Home Assistant, Homebridge, and Scrypted, but you're not really sure how they fit into your Apple Home ecosystem, or even if they're worth the effort. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on my entire smart home setup and showing you exactly how I've taken Apple Home to the next level. We're gonna cover all the options that you should know about. I'll give you real examples and honest opinions about what's worth it and what I'm using. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane and this channel is all about helping you build an easy Apple Home smart home with new videos and live streams published every week. Welcome to the bonus 4th video in our Apple Home 101 series. In the first 3 videos, we covered everything you need to build a solid Apple Home foundation, from setting up your network to understanding hubs and protocols, organization tips, and creating scenes and automations. If you missed any of those videos, check them out to gain a good understanding in getting started with Apple Home. Links to everything are down below in the description. Now today's video is a bit different. We're taking things to the next level for those of you who want to push beyond the basics of what Apple Home offers natively. Now let me be clear, Apple Home is a fantastic ecosystem that has come a long way in recent years. If you're happy with what it does, there's absolutely no need to complicate things. But as your smart home expands, you might encounter situations where you wish Apple Home could do more. Maybe you have devices that don't work with HomeKit, or maybe you want more advanced automations that go beyond what the Apple Home app offers. Maybe you want better dashboards or displays, or maybe you're just the tinkering type who enjoys exploring new possibilities. The good news is that you don't have to completely abandon Apple Home to get these other capabilities. I love Apple Home and I still use it as the foundation of my smart home. Everything I'm going to show you today can work alongside your existing Apple Home setup and even enhance it. So here's what we'll cover. Third-party HomeKit apps, Homebridge for adding non-HomeKit devices to Apple Home, Scrypted for more advanced camera features and integrations, and other complementary ecosystems like Home Assistant and Homey or even Hubitat. Plus, I'll share my current setup that combines the best of these for those that are interested. The approach that I would recommend is modular. You don't need to implement everything all at once. It's taken me years of kind of building onto my smart home to get to this point. You can certainly pick and choose what worked for you based on your specific needs and technical comfort level. And you can always add things over time. So let's start with the simplest enhancement, and that's third-party HomeKit apps. Long before I started using Home Assistant or anything else, I began with third-party HomeKit apps. Apple limits what you can do in the native Apple Home app, but the HomeKit framework is actually much more capable than what the Home app offers. These third-party apps access the full HomeKit API and unlock capabilities that aren't available in the standard default Apple Home app. So let's discuss a few. For better organization and management, check out these apps. HomePass stores your HomeKit codes or Matter codes and device information. This is essential for troubleshooting or reinstalling devices. Home Batteries provides clear battery status for all your devices and customizable notifications when those battery levels get low. Home Devices helps you explore HomeKit compatible accessories, create wish lists, and stay updated on Apple Home related news. For enhanced visuals, check out the Home Paper app. This is a simple app that allows you to create custom wallpapers for the Apple Home app using your photos. Portal is a neat app that creates atmospheric experiences by combining visuals, spatial audio, and lighting control. HomeCam lets you view multiple cameras live streams simultaneously across all your Apple devices, including Mac and Apple TV. Signals for HomeKit lets you create customizable light flashing patterns for visual notifications or alerts. On the Mac version, you can run your light signals or even run personal Mac shortcuts triggered by HomeKit accessories. For advanced automations, I usually recommend the Eve app first. This is a free option that enables multiple triggers and conditions for your automations. The controller for HomeKit app, this here is the power user option, I think, for advanced automations. You can see devices custom attributes that aren't seen in the Home app. There's backup tools, maintenance features. There's a hub mode for automations and a custom floor plan for dashboards. Just a whole lot. I've done a few videos on some of these features, which I'll also link down below if interested. Pushcut provides custom notifications and an automation server that can run iOS shortcuts and scenes in the background. Now for custom dashboards, maybe you have a wall-mounted iPad or something like that, check out the HomeRise app. This is a great dashboard app that can integrate calendars, reminders, websites, and there's even AR controls. Plus there's a really cool Vision Pro version if you happen to have an Apple Vision Pro. Home Dash is a very simple dashboard app that's very easy to configure and looks great. Biz Designer is much more cumbersome to configure but highly customizable. And then again, we've got the already mentioned controller for HomeKit app that can be used for that floor plan feature if you prefer that style of dashboard. All these apps work with the existing HomeKit framework. No additional hardware is needed. If you want to enhance HomeKit without diving into more complex solutions, these are a great starting point. Many require either a one-time purchase or a subscription, but they're typically developed by independent developers who are worth supporting, in my opinion. Now, as more devices support HomeKit natively these days, especially with Matter, you may not need additional hardware integration like Homebridge, but if you have devices that just don't work with HomeKit, then Homebridge might be your solution. Homebridge's primary function is integrating non-HomeKit devices into Apple Home. With over 2,000 community plugins supporting thousands of accessories, it can connect almost anything to HomeKit. It also enables useful features like dummy switches, which we mentioned in a previous video. Homebridge requires an always-on computer on your network. Many people use the Raspberry Pi, but it can also run on Windows, Mac, or in a Docker container on a NAS like a Synology. The software is open source and free to use, though you'll need that hardware to run it on. Similarly, Scrypted can integrate cameras that don't natively support HomeKit. So this also needs to be installed on a computer or some type of hardware on your network. I personally run Scrypted in a Docker container on my Synology NAS. Scrypted is particularly useful for getting NVR PoE cameras into HomeKit, even supporting HomeKit secure video for those cameras, which is awesome. It's free to use, though they do have a paid service called Scrypted NVR that provides 24/7 recording and additional features through their cloud service. That subscription is not necessary if you simply want to integrate your cameras into HomeKit with Scrypted. Okay, next let's talk about Homey and Home Assistant. So these are complete home systems that can run entirely on their own, but can also complement your Apple Home setup. Now, the main reason to consider either of these, in my opinion, is for their advanced automation capabilities. These options are significantly more capable than HomeKit alone for automation purposes. If you're building your Apple Home smart home and have automation ideas that HomeKit just can't handle, then these systems are worth considering. Many people, for example, use Apple Home as sort of the front end or the user interface for their smart home, while using Home Assistant behind the scenes for more complex automations. Home Assistant is free and open source and can run on almost any computer or a Raspberry Pi. You can buy pre-configured Home Assistant hubs like Home Assistant Green to get started real quickly. You might need additional dongles for certain wireless protocols like Zigbee or Thread though. I'll be honest, Home Assistant is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely a rabbit hole that requires a pretty massive time investment. Be prepared to spend many hours setting up and configuring your smart home if you go this route. It is perfect for hobbyists who enjoy tinkering. If all that doesn't scare you away, Home Assistant is a great addition to any Apple Home setup that does unlock tremendous potential if you're willing to put forth the effort. Now, similarly, Homey offers advanced automation capabilities as well. The key difference is that Homey is much more user-friendly. The interface, adding new devices, and the automation engine are all very intuitive, unlike Home Assistant's, pretty steep learning curve. However, Homey isn't open source like Home Assistant and does cost more for that plug and play functionality. Hubitat is similar to Homey and is another option, but its user face is not near as good as Homey, in my opinion either. So I do prefer Homey over Hubitat when given those two options. Now all of these, including Homey Pro, Hubitat, and Home Assistant can all be used to integrate devices that don't natively support HomeKit into your Apple Home setup like Homebridge does. I'm often asked to compare Homey Pro and Home Assistant. That probably deserves its own video. In short, Home Assistant excels at device compatibility and customization. It's also great for automations. It's just very tedious. Whereas Homey, I personally find just much more enjoyable for creating automations thanks to its well-designed automation engine, and they are very powerful automations too. Both are extremely capable when it comes to those advanced automations. All right, so you might be wondering, out of all this, what am I currently using, having experimented with all of these options? Well, I'm actually using a mix of everything, really. Apple Home remains at the forefront of my smart home. My family and I use and the Apple Home app as our primary interface for controlling our smart home. We utilize HomeKit features like Home Key for locks, HomeKit Secure Video for cameras and device notifications on the Apple TV. For advanced automations and broader device compatibility, I'm using Homey Pro and Home Assistant alongside Apple Home. I used Homebridge for years to integrate non-HomeKit devices, but Home Assistant has pretty much replaced Homebridge personally for me in my setup. I run Homey Pro for creating advanced automations because I just really enjoy the interface and the automation capabilities there with Homey Pro, much more than Home Assistant. That's just a personal thing. The main limitation in my experience with Homey is the device support gaps, hence why I still use Home Assistant as well. Fortunately, there's a Home Assistant plugin for Homey Pro, allowing me to use Home Assistant for device integration, and then I can bring those devices into Homey if maybe Homey doesn't support them. Both systems can expose devices to Apple Home that aren't natively supported in HomeKit. And both platforms do offer dashboard capabilities, but Home Assistant provides more flexibility despite being more tedious to configure. So I do like to use a custom Home Assistant dashboard on my wall-mounted iPad. That just works well for everyone in the house. I also use Scrypted to integrate my PoE cameras into HomeKit and still use a number of those third-party HomeKit apps mentioned earlier in the video as well for various things. I look at all of these as tools to help enhance my Apple Home smart home. So to recap, I'm currently using Apple Home as the face of my smart home with Homey Pro, Home Assistant, and Scrypted behind the scenes. I do still use a number of those third-party HomeKit apps as well. My setup might seem like overkill, but I do enjoy having the best of both worlds with Homey Pro and Home Assistant, plus HomeKit integration from my cameras through Scrypted. Most importantly, my family and I can still use Apple Home and for control while benefiting from all the Apple exclusive features with HomeKit. If you've watched this entire series, you now understand why I emphasized good organization from the beginning. As your smart home expands, it's easier for it to get cluttered or out of control. I've definitely found myself there. I did use just HomeKit myself for many years, even right here on this channel. And that might be all you ever need, but when you're ready for more advanced capabilities, you now know what your options are. I hope sharing my journey and current setup helps. If you have questions about my setup, drop them in the comments below. If you're on this smart home journey as well and don't want to do it alone, subscribe for new videos and live streams every week. I also have a channel membership with perks like access to my private member Discord group, where you can message me directly or interact with others on this same smart home journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.